The night began like any other in the Galactic Council's core chamber. Thousands of glowing screens floated in the air, displaying peaceful trade routes and diplomatic reports. But the peace was only a mask. Every council member felt a strange pressure in the air, like the galaxy itself was waiting for something to happen. High Chancellor Virion noticed it first. His scales tightened as the alarms flickered for a split second. It was only a blink, barely a second, but it was enough to make every species in the chamber pause. Something massive had entered the detection grid, something silent, something unknown. Across the stars, deep sensors trembled. A long-range satellite saw a flash, too bright, too sharp. It was a railgun shot, but not from any known empire. The blast was clean, perfect, and impossibly fast. It tore through an abandoned moon like it was paper. The council had never seen a weapon behave like this. A young council officer tried to speak, but his voice cracked. "We have a contact. A new fleet." "No, not a fleet. One ship." "One ship?" Every empire in the council exchanged confused glances. A single ship should not cause alarm, but this ship was different. It moved without heat, without fuel signatures, without warp trails. Their sensors couldn't even read its hull material. It was like the ship was not part of the same universe. Then the impossible happened. The ship vanished instantly. No warp, no engine spike. It disappeared as if reality let it slip through. Chancellor Virion whispered, "Teleportation, but that technology is forbidden. No one could." Before he finished, the ship reappeared directly in front of the core chamber's orbital defense ring, close enough that its railguns were already pointed at the council capital. The galaxy stopped breathing. The orbital defense ring was designed to stop entire invasions. 50,000 cannons, layered shields, and automated interceptors stood ready at all times. Yet, as the unknown ship appeared before it, the entire system froze. Not because of a hack, not because of a malfunction, but because the ship's presence overwhelmed every sensor and confused every weapon. It felt like the ship was not attacking. It was observing. Inside the council chamber, panic spread. Species with wings fluttered nervously. Species with armored shells clicked their mandibles in fear. Even the cold-blooded species felt heat rising from their skins. Something ancient in their instincts screamed danger. A single technician gasped as a new reading appeared. The ship is charging something. Chancellor Virion stepped forward, eyes locked on the hologram. "Open channels. Now, we must identify who commands that craft." But the ship did not reply. Instead, a low hum began to echo across space, deep, metallic, and powerful. The hum rose slowly, vibrating every nearby structure. Railgun capacitors. The council recognized the sound from old war records, but this one felt stronger, heavier, deadlier. Then, in a split second, the ship fired. Not at the planet, not at the council chamber, but at a dead asteroid behind the fence ring. The shot was silent. A silver streak of light. A flash that lasted less than a heartbeat. The asteroid didn't explode. It simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there. The next moment, gone, erased cleanly, like someone deleted a file from the galaxy. The council chamber fell silent. No empire in history had weapons this precise. No railgun could fire without recoil. No projectile could vaporize matter so perfectly. Virion's voice cracked. Only one species ever tried to build weapons like this. He swallowed. Humans! The council had feared this moment for centuries, even though they had convinced themselves humans were extinct. According to every official record, humanity vanished generations ago. Lost in a war no one survived, a civilization erased by its own weapons. But the ship in orbit proved the records were wrong. Chancellor Virion felt his pulse thundering in his ears. Track its movement. We must know where it will strike next. But the technicians couldn't. The ship was still, and yet not. Its position flickered by a fraction every few seconds, as though reality struggled to anchor it. The railguns were terrifying, but the teleportation was worse. Teleportation was illegal, dangerous, unstable. Entire species had died trying to stabilize it. Yet the human ship used it like it was a simple engine. Suddenly, the hum returned. Not railguns, not shields. This was different. A technician screamed, "Mass displacement detected. Something is—" He couldn't finish. The ship vanished. No blast, no noise, no energy spike. One frame it was there. The next frame, it stood directly above the Council's planetary shield generator. Every alarm in the capital ignited at once. Council soldiers scrambled. Flyers rushed across the sky. Artillery rotated to target the teleport signature. But the human ship had moved with such precision that no defense system could adjust in time. A bright ring formed along the ship's underside, smooth, circular, and glowing like a rising sun. Virion whispered, "That's not a weapon. That's a teleporter gate." The ring expanded, projecting a shimmering field downward. In the center of the council capital's main plaza, a glowing column of light formed. Citizens stumbled back, terrified. From the light, a tall silhouette stepped out, calm, armored, and unmistakably human. The council had hoped humans were gone, but they had returned. The figure stepped out of the teleport column with slow, controlled movements. His armor was dark silver, marked with glowing blue lines that pulsed like a heartbeat. The helmet retracted with a soft click, revealing a human face, calm, unreadable, and frighteningly confident. The entire plaza froze. Council guards pointed their weapons, but none dared fire. Something about the human felt different, like the air around him bent slightly, as if reality itself avoided touching him. Chancellor Virion watched through the chamber's main screen, unable to believe what he saw. A living human after all these years. The envoy looked around, studying the architecture, the sky, the crowds. Then he spoke in a voice amplified by his suit. Clear, steady, and unmistakably controlled. "I bring a message." Just 3 words. Yet every being in the plaza felt the weight of a threat hidden behind them. Council soldiers shifted nervously. "I am Commander Rylan of the Precursor Fleet," he continued. "Your council has interfered with matters far beyond his authority." Virion forced himself to stand. "Open a communication line to him. Now." The envoy glanced upward, as if he already knew he was being watched. "Your era of control ends tonight. Humanity left this galaxy in your hands. You burned it with corruption." His words echoed like thunder. "The railgun demonstration was mercy," he said. "A reminder of what we could do if we wished to end you." The plaza shook as a human ship realigned above the capital, casting a massive shadow across the city. Rylan raised his hand, and the air shimmered around him. Teleporter energy danced across his armor like sparks. "You have one chance," he said coldly. "Stand down or be erased." Every species in the chamber felt the truth. Humanity wasn't back for diplomacy. It was back for judgment. Panic swept through the council chamber like wildfire. Dozens of representatives stood from their seats, shouting over each other in fear. Some demanded negotiations. Others demanded retaliation. None understood what humanity had become. Chancellor Virion slammed his hand on the command table. "Silence! We will not fall without resistance." But even he felt doubt tightening in his chest. The human commander below radiated confidence, a calm, deadly warning that no known empire could match. In the plaza, Commander Rylan lowered his hand. A ripple of teleporter energy expanded from his suit, forming a protective dome around him. The council guards finally opened fire in desperation. Streams of plasma, energy bolts, and sonic rounds rained toward him. Not a single shot landed. Every projectile bent away, pulled off course by some invisible force, and dissolving harmlessly into the ground. The guards paused in terror. Rylan spoke again. "You still do not understand. Humanity did not advance, we transcended." Above the capital, the human warship shifted. Sections of its hull unfolded like metallic petals, revealing dozens of railgun barrels arranged in perfect symmetry. The Council's planetary shields tried to power up, but the ship's presence forced them into a restart loop. Rylan looked upward. "Begin Phase 2. The ship obeyed instantly. A burst of light carved across the sky as the teleporter ring fired again, this time targeting the Council's defense grid. Entire structures vanished in beams of perfect precision. No explosions, no debris, just absence. Inside the chamber, Virion's legs trembled. This is extermination. A council senator whispered, "We never should have touched Earth. We never should have forbidden their return." The screens flickered red as every defensive system collapsed. For the first time in 1,000 years, the council had no authority, no shields, no weapons, no control. Humanity had taken it all. The council chamber shook as emergency lights flickered across the walls. Every screen showed the same terrifying truth. Their entire defensive network had collapsed. Nothing blocked a human ship now. Nothing protected the capital. Nothing stood between them and extinction. Commander Ryland looked around the plaza, his expression calm. Too calm for someone who held the fate of a galaxy in his hands. His voice carried through every speaker, echoed through every street, and reached every council world. Your authority is over, but your lives, that decision is still yours. Chancellor Virion stared at the screen with hollow eyes. We cannot win. Not against this. The human ship rotated slowly, its railguns locked in standby position. The teleport rings glowed softly, waiting for a command that could erase the capital in a heartbeat. Ryland raised one hand, and the entire warship responded instantly, like it was an extension of his own body. Humanity did not return to conquer, Ryland continued. We returned to correct the corruption you built. The Council has taken from the weak, made slaves of the poor, and declared entire species unworthy of freedom. His eyes hardened. Humanity will not allow that. Virion swallowed. What do you want from us? Ryland's reply was simple. Dissolve the Council. End the oppression. Build something better, or humanity will build it for you. A deep silence followed. For the first time in centuries, the Council had no threats to hide behind, no armies to rely on, no powers to negotiate with. Slowly, painfully, Virion lowered his head. We surrender our authority. Ryland nodded once. The human ship powered down its railguns. The teleport rings dimmed. The message ended as simply as it began. Remember this night. Humanity does not seek war, but if justice is threatened, he stepped back into the teleport beam. We will return. And with a flash of white light, humanity vanished, leaving a new galaxy behind.